just like animals have adaptations that help them achieve certain goals in their lives, we have created machines that have differences in them that have certain goals that they are achieving. So just like a frog has its legs specifically designed so it can hop a certain way, or a giraffe's neck is super duper tall so that way it can reach the leaves on top of the trees, we have designed semi-trucks that meet certain needs and certain goals. So one of the main differences in these two semi-trucks is that this one is way more prevalent in the United States, and we're going to get into why in just a moment. And this one, while more prevalent in Germany, also has something very different. It's shorter, it's flatter, and the cab and the engine are on top of the axle, and this is called a cab over engine truck. You can also see them referred to as pub trucks. This does not really have a specific name. It's called a classic Freightliner or a classic semi-truck. That's mainly due to movies like The Smokey and the Bandit in the 70s, back when trucking reached one of its highs, I would like to say. But this is referred to as a classic model. This is referred to as a pub truck or a cab over engine. Now, a couple of the main reasons why someone would prefer one type of semi-truck cab over the other could include things like your lifestyle and how long of a distance your daily, weekly, monthly hauls are. It can also include legislation that regards the size of your truck, the weight of your truck, and it also has to do with safety and comfortability. These long-nosed trucks right here have a huge crumple zone. So when you get into a wreck, this right here is what's going to stop that impact. Think about if this dog ran into a wall just right now. What do you think is going to stop its little noggin from hitting that? Probably its big nose, right? Think about if a pug ran into a wall. What's going to happen? It's probably going to get a concussion. While they are stupid, that might be one of the reasons why they have continued to get stupider. Now, another thing that you have to notice is that this engine right here is right on top of that axle. And so that cab is on top of it. And so there's a greater height between your cab and the actual ground and the pavement and the wheel. When you are in a cab over engine truck, you usually don't feel a lot of bumps and jostles that you would on the road because you're higher up from the ground than you would be in a classic model. Now, classic models do have ways to fix this. You have these air pump seats. They're not in all of them. The Volvos that I have been in typically do not have this, but you can find these in Peterbilts, you can find them in Freightliners, and you can usually find them in Max. And those are the more popular brands that you can find of trucks in the United States. So that's your safety and your comfortability. Now, another thing that is really awesome about these long-nosed trucks when it comes to your lifestyle and the type of haul that you're doing, in the United States, the US is a lot larger than most countries in Europe. So if you're in a short-nosed truck, it's usually because you're doing short trips. You'll notice that a lot of box trucks are short-nosed trucks because box trucks are meant to do, maybe I'm in Cincinnati and I'm delivering to Delhi, I'm delivering to Over the Rhine, I'm delivering to Northern Kentucky, and then I'm going home for the day. Whereas if you have a long-nosed truck, you're going from, probably Texas all the way out to Arkansas, maybe up to Vermont, maybe Ohio, and then that's going to be like a 3-month trip for you, right? What you need to do every morning when you get into a semi-truck and you are about to drive it is a pre-trip. Now, these pre-trips mean that you need to check the engine and you need to check the engine oil. And if your whole life is in the cab of that truck, because a lot of these trucks have sleeper beds, you need to get into that engine and you don't want to flip your entire life upside down. And these Isuzu trucks or these flat-nose trucks, to get to the engine because it's on top of the axle and under the cab, you need to flip the cab. The hood of this truck just pops open like a regular car hood. And we're gonna watch and see, this is a video from Freightliner Australia. It doesn't have volume, but you don't really need the volume to see it. It's gonna show you exactly how to open that hood. And it pops out like a normal car. You gotta really slowly get it, I guess, huh? So that's how you open that long nose truck, right? Now what we're going to see here is how you open these pug nose trucks. And you'll notice it is very different. And in the video you can't hear it. We have not been able to figure out how to get audio. This has been like a week-long thing of trying to figure out. What she says is that you need to make sure that you do not have any big gulp or like an open Dr. Pepper can in that truck when you go to open it. Because what's going to happen is it's going to flip over and anything in that truck is going to hit that windshield. And this video is from IP Truck. IP Truck is the company that makes the Isuzu trucks. My company uses that for short load hauls. So Gordon Food Services will use that to deliver to other GFS stores. They will not use that to deliver to restaurants, which I found very interesting. But you will see when she flips this truck, here it is, the entire cab flips over. Right? So think about that. If you've got a drink in there, that's hit the windshield. That's going to be a cleanup. If you have your whole life in that truck, all of your stuff's going to hit that windshield, and it's not going to be helpful. Now in Europe, you might want that truck because you're not going to be going all the way out to Texas or whatever, how many miles. Your trips are very small. I mean, Germany alone is not even the size of the state of Texas. One of the things here is also legislation. So legislation can dictate the market and what people find desirable in the market. In Germany, there are regulations on the size of your semi-truck. Not just the trailer, but the actual size of the truck. And in Germany, I found this on atri.net. It's a PDF of the actual regulations for your semi-truck, including weight, including length of trailer, including the length of the truck. But right now we're looking at the truck, and the length of the truck, it cannot exceed 12 meters. It cannot be bigger than that. Now, what's interesting is that in the United States, there is no regulation on how long your semi-truck cab can be. The only regulations in the United States that refer to anything about semi-truck size is about weight size, so your weight class. And that only refers to the trailer. That doesn't even refer to the truck. Now obviously you can argue, oh well, this truck can't go over this bridge or this road because of the axle weight limit. I'm just talking about driving this thing day to day. Is it legal to drive this on the street? Period. Like, take it on the highway. And the only regulations that we have are on the weight of the trailer. So for your Class A trailers, according to NorthAmericanTradeSchools.net, your Class A trailers are anything that is over 10,000 pounds. So think of that as airplane parts, or any trailer. If you see a Prime trucking trailer, not from Amazon, but Prime Inc., that is a Class A trailer. USPS, Class A trailer. UPS, Class A trailer. Anything below 10,000 pounds is a Class B trailer and requires a Class B license, also referred to as a chauffeur's license. And a Class B license will allow you to drive a cement mixer, a fire truck even, a bus, or a small box truck like the Isuzu truck that we saw earlier. So usually Americans will have a preference for the long-nosed truck for multiple reasons, that being safety. You have a larger crumple zone, and even if it is a little bumpy, you're still able to get those air seats. Also included is legislation. There's no legislation guiding how long these can be. It's really just the market standard. Peterbilt, Mack, and Freightliner and all these other truck companies have continued to make them this size. We need interchangeable parts. They are going to continue to be this size. That includes Volvo, which is one of the main companies that builds the semi-truck. So Peterbilt might have the brand and the truck parts, but Volvo puts it together. So you have your legislation, you have your safety, and you also have your lifestyle and the way that you work and the type of haul that you have. The the end. Thank you. And again, we do have 4 people here. It's just a small room. We would have to use multiple cameras to get everyone in the same shot.